Hey, Angie Nelson here from theworkathomewife.com. Today we are going to be talking about a fan favorite in the work at home world, and that is microjobs. Now, for many of you out there, maybe you are working a full-time job during the day, maybe you are raising your children at home and you only have a few hours to spare every day, or even in the evenings, early mornings. Either way, even though your time is limited, you're still in need of some extra cash. But you need something that's really flexible, and maybe you're looking for something that doesn't require a lot of brain power as well. And that's what makes these short task sites really popular. And that's what we're going to be talking about today. So stay tuned. We're going to be talking about a few great opportunities, and make sure you stay till the end of the video to find out how you can get my free series on finding work at home. Now, as I mentioned, one of the big draws to these microjob sites is that it's easy work. In many cases, these are going to be simple tasks that you're completing, and in most cases, they're going to be short tasks as well. And for most of these sites, these are going to be little jobs that you can pick up that don't require more than 15 minutes to complete. That makes it really popular for those that are looking for something that's really flexible. Maybe at the end of the day, you find out that you have an hour to spare and you want to get online and make some extra money. And that's where a lot of these sites can come into play. There's not going to be an hourly commitment in most cases. There's usually no scheduling involved. It's just you hop online and pick up some of the work, what's available and what interests you. Now, on the flip side of that, because it's something that is on the easier side and that isn't going to have a lot of commitment involved, it isn't going to be the big bucks in most cases. A lot of these are going to be, on the lower end of the pay scale. So it's not usually something that you can depend on to pay the bills. If you're looking for a steady paycheck that's going to be able to support your family, you're really going to want to look beyond the microjob sites. You're going to want to, find something that does require a bit more of a commitment, and it's going to give you more of a commitment in return. But today we're focusing on some ways that you can make some easy money by doing some simple tasks. Now, when we're talking about microjobs, we're usually going to be talking about a few different categories of work here. These are going to be short little files or tasks that, like I said, so it's going to usually fall into some specific categories here. We're usually talking about data entry, categorizing, things like surveys may be involved here, transcription. These are going to be really some entry-level tasks that aren't going to require a lot of experience or training. Now, that being said, a lot of these sites are set up, so that as you gain experience and as you are completing more advanced tasks, you are going to become more of an advanced user. That's going to open up some of the higher paying gigs as well. Sometimes there may be some qualifications or some tests that you need to take, but either way, these are some opportunities to kind of boost your earnings. And if you can go from making $4 per hour to $8 per hour on one of these sites, why not? Now, there's some really great legitimate opportunities for these microjobs out there. There are some really reputable, short task sites. The first one we're going to be talking about is mTurk. I have a whole video on mTurk, that you can take an opportunity to view here on my channel. And mTurk is Amazon Mechanical Turk. It's going to be an Amazon site, so you know that it is going to be reputable. It is a legitimate company. And what Amazon mTurk does is connects, clients with Turkers. And these are going to be in the form of what they call hits. And hits are going to be their tasks. In many cases, you're going to be looking at things, like I said, like data entry, transcribing short audio files. There are some surveys and things like categorizing images over there. It's really varied, and there's usually almost always work available over there. As I said before, as you're a beginner on this site, you are only going to have access to some of the lower paying gigs. But as you level up, you are going to have the opportunity to get involved in some of those higher paying hits. So that's something that you actually want to take some time and invest in if you're serious about doing this microjob thing on a long-term basis. Now, while we're talking about mTurk, if you're familiar with that one, a couple more that you're going to want to check out there are called Crowdflower and ClickWorker. These are both popular short task sites that are going to have the same kind of setup there as far as connecting people, that have tasks to be done with those task workers. So go ahead and check those two out and see what's available. See how you can get involved in those. Now, onespace is kind of a step up from the mTurk world. This one is going to require a bit more brain power. You can obviously expect a bit more pay there, but their tasks are a little more advanced. You may be running into some things like short copywriting tasks, or maybe some things like some more advanced transcription. So those are some things that you can find over on onespace, and that one is going to pay by PayPal. Now, another category of these micro jobs that I like to put over here is going to be user testing. Now, if you're not familiar with this, what you are doing is providing feedback to website owners on your experience on their website. You may be sharing with them, the navigation, what you thought about their fonts or their colors, things like that. And those jobs usually, it only takes 15 to 20 minutes to complete in most cases. So that's why I like to put this one over here in the microjob site. That being said, most of these user testing sites are not going to have work available all the time. It's not something that you can just log in anytime and pick up work. In most cases, they are emailing you when a job becomes available, and you'll have the opportunity to pick up the work from that email. So that is something that is going to be one you can keep in your back pocket, but it's not going to be something that you can rely on all the time. Now, another one here that I really like is called Fancy Hands. Fancy Hands is often thought of more of a virtual assisting site. A lot of the tasks that you're going to find over here are going to be kind of in that personal assistant category. You may be doing things like setting appointments, responding to or sending emails, different things like that are often, in many cases, you're dealing with a professional as a client, maybe a business owner, and those are the things that they are needing to get done. When we're talking about this one, a lot of times their jobs are going to be within that 15-minute time range. They're all going to have a set rate, as is the case on most of these sites, and you just log in and pick up what work interests you when you have time available. Now, another one here that isn't so often thought of as a microjob site is going to be Swagbucks. Now, if you're familiar with Swagbucks, they give you the opportunity to earn Swagbucks or SB for completing tasks online. There may be things like surveys you can do. Watching videos is a popular one. They will often give you SB for doing things like shopping through their links, kind of like an eBay setup. It provides a lot of different ways that you can pick up those Swagbucks, and those then can be turned into gift cards. You can cash out your Swagbucks for actual PayPal cash. It is a nice site to kind of have in your online portfolio to take advantage of when you do have some of that spare time, whether it's between commercial breaks or sitting in the carpool lane, things like that, when you just have a few minutes that you want to actually put to good use and use to make some extra cash. Now, as I said, a lot of these are really entry-level work that aren't going to require a lot of brain power, and in return, they're not going to provide you with the best of pay either, but they are a good way to spend some of that spare time if you're just looking for something that's really flexible and easy to do. But if you do get involved in some of these short task sites and you find that there are some specific jobs that you really enjoy doing and that you'd like to pursue further, I would encourage you to do that, whether it's getting involved, as a freelancer, whether it's seeking out some of these sites that offer more specialized work, whether that's in terms of transcription, virtual assisting, things like that. I encourage you to take it to that next level if you find there's some work here that you really do enjoy. It's certainly a way that you can make some more money and start getting your skills more honed and specialized. Now, I'm going to leave you some links in the description below to some of the sites that we talked about today, in addition to a blog post over on my site that's going to provide you with even more opportunities like this that you can check out. And make sure while you're over there that you do pick up that free 7-day series on finding work from home. Now, if you liked today's video, please give it a like and a share, and make sure you're subscribed to my channel so you'll get notification of my next video. Until then, I wish you best of luck in your work at home job search.